Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We have got another episode of Smooth Brain Steven here for you, where we look at the weird and crazy adventures of Steven. That's right, Steven in the top right. He's going up against Runamok, who is a Grandmaster Aussie, a very good Terran player, who's actually basically GM or the equivalent with every single race. Not every race, sorry, but every game he plays. I think he's been in the top league in Counter-Strike, I think maybe Hearthstone, but a bunch of different esports. Basically, whenever there's a new esport, he gets on, grinds to the very top league. So he's like one of those super... It's good to say Josh is an elite, well-rounded gamer, even though he's not the highest, top-tier Australian player. He's regularly hitting like top 8, top 16 of tournaments, and is a solid GM. Steven here often hangs a bit lower than Josh on the ladder, but God, does he make games weird and is very capable of punching up. Last time we cast him versus the #1 Malaysian player, Ranger, in a crazy game. This time, he's going for... I think he did this in his Smooth Brain Audition game way back when. He builds a hatchery, cancels it, and he hides a spawning pool here. Unfortunately for him, Runamok is not SCV scouting. If he was SCV scouting early, he would come in, he might loop the base and go, oh, what? There's no spawning pool? And then he'd be like, is there a proxy hatch? Like, is there a 3 hatch before a pool? What's going on? So this is a really dumb play where essentially it's just going to be like a pool first Zergling pressure, essentially. And it's very costly. You lose 75 minerals for doing that. You delay your spawning pool. But he's doing this to try and surprise his opponent. And he's only SCV scouting really late. So he's just going to come across, see the hatchery and be like, oh, no worries. Reaper stays at home to defend the Zerglings and we should be all good. So this is just a crazy opening from Steven. I feel like this, I've got to give it troll points more than anything. I really don't feel like it has any efficacy against a Terran. I think against a Protoss or a Zerg, it might confuse them because they're, well, not a Zerg, but a Protoss is more likely to scout very early and be like, whoa, what's happening? Where's the spawning pool? What's going on? In this case, Runamok will be going in. He should leave his Reaper at home. The Zerglings, you can see, dodging around. That Reaper should not go across the map. He's got to stay at home, and he will come back. Good micro for him. Meanwhile, it looks like, oh, the Queen does get the SCV. That one goes roly-poly down the ramp there. And the Reaper is trying to hunt down these Zerglings. But if he gets pulled out of position, these Lings could run in. Runamok going to be going for a reacted factory opening. Now, for those who don't know Steven too well, Steven is super smooth brain, super, like, ridiculous with how he plays. But unlike Florencio, he's actually quite good mechanically. He's not the fastest player. Look, 127 average APM, but he's got good micro. He's very sneaky with his tactics, and he is capable of playing a very high-paced game of StarCraft. And what's scary about Steven is he will focus on all the little maneuvers to screw with his opponent, but he plays at a very high level, regularly playing against GMs. Whenever I run into him on the ladder, I'm always a bit tense because I know that I can't just play a smooth style. Like, you know when you get into flow state when you're playing StarCraft and you're kind of doing things you've done before and you feel like everything's clicking together? You just can't have that versus Steven. He's always going to do something to throw you off your game. He's always going to put you in a situation where you need to think a little bit because he's doing things in a different way to a normal player and he's forcing you to adapt and react. Spreading creep now to make sure his spawning pool, you can see that's bleeding out. Its hit points going down, and the creep finally is underneath it. So it gets a bit more nourishment, and it's going to very slowly regenerate. It'd be a shame if a drop lands here and kills that later on, since it is so heavily damaged. Overall, though, has Steven's opening paid off? Not at all, guys. He's lost 2 Zerglings for an SCV. His third's late. He should be able to kill this Reaper if a Queen goes after it, but... Oh, he's going to get out. Runamok. Oh, Runamok, well done. So... He's on only up a handful of workers, whereas normally you're meant to be way up on workers at this point. Saving grace is the fact that Runamok is not going 3 command center. If he was going 3 command center as well, I feel like Runamok could be even further ahead. That being said, he's ready to do a big Hellion poke. 4 Hellions against what? 2 Zerglings, 4 Queens. Not the best setup for Steven. Steven has been getting better at playing macro games, so I think what we might see in this one is him just setting up, defending, establishing for 6 or 7 minutes. And then we'll start to see the weird happen. There is a reason this one has found its way to my inbox, guys. And it had... I'm not going to give away just the title, but the title made me know that we are looking at a game of that's going to be friggin' ridiculous. There was just a little bit of info in there. And I was like, I don't even need to see this replay before casting it. We just got to... I want to see how that goes. So I won't spoil any more of it than that. The Hellion Reaper coming in. They're going to snipe that creep tumor. Okay, very good poking. I think a dive pass could be brutal right now. Only his ling speed's very late. 6 more lings on the way. Runamok doesn't know though. And against a guy like Steven, you don't know if he's got like 30 Zerglings, in the fog of war back there waiting. And if you go too deep on creep, you could get surrounded, so it's very risky to do so. It's high risk, high reward, and Runamuck doesn't want to play those risky games up against Steven. Runamuck would have been the favorite going in with a higher MMR into the match by at least a couple hundred. So whenever you're the favorite, you usually want to play a little bit more cautious. You know, you're like, oh, I don't want to give away all that MMR, taking any gambles. I'll just beat him if I play safe and solid. And, oh, he's going for it. Nope, the Queen's pushing back, but the Banshee comes in. Spore Gorilla finishing just in time. Does get 1, 2, 3 shots off. 45 damage, but the Banshee's already up on 2 kills. Make it 3, make it 4. Oh, but he does pull away. He's a little bit worried about that Spore giving vision. He doesn't realize this Spore's not finished. Oh, if he went in there, he could actually do so much damage right now. Queen comes forward, takes a few hits. Banshee is going to grab a drone. Should be able to get at least one more. There we go. And then does pull away. Nice micro by Josh. Josh is, of course, Runamuck, by the way. Sorry if I call him that, guys. I don't know. It's one of the players that I call by their name more often. Sometimes I get on a roller calling Estrella Max, something like that. I don't know why, which is confusing, especially if he's playing Max packs. Queens are going after the aliens. They're going to get some good damage here. Meanwhile, the Banshee in the main is going to get hunted down. No, he's going to barely escape. What? What? Both players giving each other a pass here. Oh my god. Okay, he finally does pull that one back. He's going to get those Banshees out of there. Hellions on the other side are looking all right. So far, units lost tab looking okay for Runamuck. I mean, equal workers, 3rd command center coming up. He's going 5 barracks bio now. This all looks really good for Runamuck. Steven, not as adept as Runamuck in a macro game. He's going only single Evo upgrades as well. He is getting Baneling speed, and oh my god, he's getting an Infestation Pit. Could be thinking about rushing towards Ultralisks here incredibly quickly. Obviously, Infesta's pretty damn rare unit to be using. I actually think they're very underrated versus Bio. Very good for ambushing your opponent, and that is something that would fit Steven's build. Zergling gets roasted at the 3rd command center. 2nd Evo coming in as well. Steven hasn't really gotten any big damage done on his opponent yet. I feel like this is definitely not the sort of game which he excels in. He's going to have to make this game messy sooner rather than later, because Runamuck, you make the game clean and organized, he'll have a clean, crisp build. He'll hit everything just right. His 1-1 and combat shields are lining up, his medevacs. He'll be moving out soon, probably with a 1-1 marine tank pressure, and that's going to be hard to deal with. And just as we talk about Infestors, we see Swarmos. Swarmos versus Bio is the stupidest thing you could possibly go. I remember doing it for a while back in Heart of the Swarm when the Swarmos was a very different unit. The problem with this is that Bio is so good at controlling the map. Like, I don't know how you're ever going to get Swarmos in a forward position to throw locusts and then pull back without just getting caught by the enemy Marines. Anytime the Marines are nearby, they will stim, and because they're so high damage, they'll kill the Locusts before the Locusts get any shots off. So he's trying to do Swarmos Ling Bane harassment, but oh! He bypasses Runamuck's army, and Runamuck in big trouble. Oh no! He's going to take massive damage. The Siege Tank gets surrounded on the ramp. The aliens do come back, and with the help of the Banshees, are actually cleaning those Zerglings up. It was a very quick response by Runamuck. And he's actually going to clean these Zerglings up. The Hellion, the Banshee, the Marines coming in there. And the depots will get potentially burnt down. But how many SCVs did he... Wait, did he not? He lost an SCV early in the game to a Queen. He didn't lose a single SCV there. That was a beautiful pull by Runamuck. And I mean, no melee upgrades on those Zerglings and no Banelings in the mix. Steven doesn't have any Banelings behind. He's got 11 Swarmos now as well, which is just ridiculous. He's got 5 on the bottom. Banshee's coming across the map. He's got 5 there. He's also got 6 more here. Check his control groups. He's got 2 squads of Swarmos. Steven going for some silly bananas play right now. He's just doing crazy stuff. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it will at least distract. These Locusts coming in. Some of them will take down the depots. The rest are going to go for the mineral line, but oh, they're stuck on the bunker. That's a big mistake for him. Ling Bane coming forward. Runamuck wanting to punish the Swarmos, but he does run into the Banelings. Ooh, okay, the Banelings get some decent detonations. Runamuck really should have picked up and saved more of those units, but he does save 8 of them. Oh no, but he flies straight to the Queens. He didn't realize the Queens were behind that army. He thought he'd go for a counter drop. One of the best ways to deal with Swarmos play is to just go attack them, because it's so hard for them to manage the Locusts on the front and defend at the same time. But Runamuck getting a little bit overly aggressive. He is up to over 20 kills on these 2 Banshees combined. That is a lot of damage, but it looks like they're not going to get too much more. There's still Swarmos available on the bottom and another Swarmos squad on the north. Runamuck, though, has 77 workers, better upgrades, and a 4th base on the way, and he's making Mass Marine, which does beat this army. Steven could kill this command center, though. Big opportunity for him. Banshees pick off a Queen on the south side. Runamuck staying active with that, but he can't lose too many SCVs. Oh! Oh, those locusts. Oh, man. About 15 SCVs go down just like that from no SCVs killed in the previous waves to 16 there. Mass Ling find a bunch of SCVs that ran away from that. Lings and Banes rolling in as well. Widowmine's trying to come forward. Runamuk's trying to regain control. Looks like his Banshees went down on the other side of the map. Steven is still down on economy, but he's trying to make this chaotic. The Banelings roll in. Runamuk handles that very well. Only 3 or 4 Marines go down there. That was pretty darn good. On the other hand, where's the second Swarmo squad, guys? Where is it? I don't know where the other Swarmo squad is. I mean, it's... Oh, it's just sitting in his base. He's forgotten about it. He now realizes and does bring it forward. Meanwhile, Marines trying to hunt those Swarmos down in the bottom. Swarmo's going to land it. Oh! Oh my god, the command center's at 99%. Josh quickly pulls SCVs and he does manage to finish and lifts and saves the command center. Great move for him. Swarmos to the bottom, though, are in strife. More Swarmos coming forward in the middle. He's making this game as... I told you guys Steven had to make this game messy. He's making this game the messiest I've ever seen. Runamuk's doing a really good job, but what the hell? How do you deal with this? There's Locusts coming in on all sides. He doesn't stim those Marines. A few of them do go down. The Queens and the Zerg desperately trying to defend on the south. Ling Bane trying to roll in, but the Widow Mines are going to cause problems for them. The Marines trying to start a step backwards. Oh, Thor is there as well. Great defense by Runamuk. On the south side, though, the Queens do defend. Steven still has all 11 Swarm hosts alive, and that is the secret. He's got to keep those Swarm hosts alive and just keep getting Locusts in. And it's a battle for map control. Runamuk saves those Marines. He sends them down the right side. I mean, obviously... Runamuk is not Maru level, guys, but I'm telling you, he's playing really bloody well because this is not something you're used to handling. Ling's on the south, Swarmos on the north, Swarmos in the middle. He's also got an Overseer in the main and a Nidus going down, so he's preparing to Nidus Worm. The Marine drop is in the back of his base, though. Runamuk says the best defense is a good offense. He just pulls his SCVs away. He's got to lift this command center, though. If he doesn't lift that command center, he'll be in trouble. Marines in the backside picking up. He's going to rotate those around. He hasn't lifted his command center. That's a big mistake. Locust coming in on the north. They're going to go after the Planetary and the SCVs. That command center falls. Runamuk needs to get counter damage. He's still up 15 workers here. He redrops in the main base. Those Marines are going to lose their medevac. But look at this. On the defense, Runamuk guns down the Zerglings. His Planetary survives in the north. And he kills a hatchery there. Steven is back to just 3 hatcheries right now. I cannot cast this game. I cannot cast this game. There's too much going on. Swarmos are throwing Locusts in the bottom. They've got to be careful. The Marines are finally finding them. But at the same time, Baneling's on top of Runamuk in the middle of the map. He picks up and saves some great moves. Oh no, the Swarmos are caught. Meanwhile, Locusts are in the production. There's still Marines alive in the back of the base. The Queen's finally cleaning it up. The Swarmos to the bottom are getting taken out. Big mistakes for Steven. He's down to just 8 Swarmos. He lost 3 of them, but he does burrow. Runamuk so distracted by fighting going on in 3 places at once that he cannot keep up. Marine drop. Another Marine drop comes into the main, but the Queen Baneling will defend. Big pickup for Steven. Meanwhile, Locusts shut down by the Planetary Fortress. It does not give a crap about a handful of Locusts. There's Widow Mines scattered all over the map. More Marines going across the map. Runamuk sticking by his philosophy. We said it before. The best defense is a good offense. He does not want to cede map control to Steven, or he knows these Swarmos are just going to keep getting value. So he's going to keep counterattacking, but that makes the game even messier. Steven's like, well, I'm not going to defend either. I'm just going to Nidus Zerglings into your main. He's got these Swarmos coming back forward on the south side. The Ling Bane tries to run in, and they do drag a Widow Mine on some of those Marines, but the hatchery does go down. The Locusts throwing on this low ground base, and they're even burrowing to block it. Mass Baneling! Oh, he gets the command center of this building, and he's going to get a lot of these SCVs. But the command center survives on 1 hit point. It got down to 1 hit point from burning there. Barely survives. Locusts massacring the SCVs on this base. Steven is ruining Runamuk's economy. However, on the other hand, the Planetary gets repaired back up and does survive. And the Marines are running in. If these Marines can win this fight, 2-2 versus 2-2, but the Queens are too much. The Widow Mine will go down. Steven barely hanging on to his economy, but that economy is a shit economy. He's got a few mineral patches there, a few in his main, and there. He's only got his initial 3 bases. Remember that Runamuk still has 2 orbitals that can drop mules. He may be down 15 workers, but if he can clear these up, he'll be good. These Swarm hosts are being such dickheads, though. That one is blocking the base. Runamuk has to scan to clear this one up. The Marines will take it out. And those Locusts will go down. He's going to now land that and start dropping those mules like crazy. More Ling Bane getting ready. The Queens of Steven starting to get some damage on the medevacs, but that's plenty of Marines. They can take out the Queens. The Lings come forward, though. Make this a difficult situation. I think Runamuk has the winning numbers, though. Remember that just simply spoken, there is not much money coming in for Steven. And even though he's way up in supply, he's in trouble if a big Marine Widow Mine ball gets together, because that army's just better than a handful of Ling Bane. The Swarm hosts need to keep finding value. The Marines are gunning down a lot of the Queens, but... Oh, the Banelings! He stims again, and that means he's almost all 1 hit from death. Baneling's getting a good connection. He does end up saving 7 Marines and getting out of there, but that was a very important fight. Oh! Oh, it's a big win for Steven. Banelings crashing into that third base. Oh my god, this is absolutely huge. Where are his swarm hosts, guys? He's still got 5 in the north. And because he got rid of the planetary, that means follow-up waves will be good. Not just that, he's burrowed 2 banelings in the mineral line to blow up workers in the future. Steven the Mad Lad, he's still got 2 swarm hosts on the south that is sieging this mineral line as well. If he can get those fresh mules that just dropped, that would be massive. Those swarm hosts have so much damage. It's actually wild. Marines are going to come back. Good pullback, though, by Runamark, and he can go back to mining now. He's got to hunt those locusts down. But look at this, locusts from the north as well. He is getting sieged. The double swarm host squad harassment is insane. He scans. He finds them. Finally, he finds the dynamic duo. But he's not watching because these locusts are distracting him. Runamark, he completely missed it. He saw one of them. He completely missed it, though. Oh, no. Oh, Runamark, you know he's stressed out. This sort of game is the sort of game that drives you crazy. He's going to try and get his bio mine forward, but his mines are very clumped up. Steven gets in there, gets 3 of the Widow mines already. He's going to try and split his banelings up, but oh, the Marines very clumped up. Dangerous moves. Runamark only has 2 medevacs. The Widow mine gets massive friendly fire. That Widow mine gets a really good hit, but oh, that baneling, devastating damage. Runamark still has a ball of Marines, though, and there's only 7 Zerglings and 2 banelings. Dude, Steven, if he can't get this economy up, he's screwed. He's losing his queens. He might actually be dead. There's more locusts coming in behind us. Steven needs banelings up. If he loses that hatchery, he's screwed. Remember, he's almost out of minerals on his natural in his third base. He does burrow these drones. If Runamark has a scan and gets rid of those drones, that might be worth it. There's only 5 mineral patches there, 4 mineral patches there. The Marines need to get out of here, and that is a very good idea. Just pick up and run away. Don't lose those units to these queens. He's going to go in the main. Oh, that's a risky move. That's a risky move. There's a lot of Zergers there, and there's queens nearby. Every unit is sacred in this scenario. Runamark needs to be very efficient. He should know that Steven has next to no economy. He's got a double drop on the south, a double drop on the north. But Steven is going to bring the fight back to his side of the map. Runamark, he's got a lot of SCVs mining now. Unfortunately, he's walled himself in, so he can't actually replenish. He's trying to rebuild SCVs right now. His double drop harassment could do amazing damage. But here we go, Nidus Zergling in the main base. Yeah, again, he's got a lot of Marines nearby. And Locust hitting the third at the same time. Dude, honestly, if he actually found those swarm hosts when he scanned them and killed them, that would be so huge. But these Locusts keep denying his base while the Zerglings running. Look at this. And he's burrowing Lings as well. Sets the add-ons on fire and then just starts picking off units in different situations. The Marines will clean this up. The moment he leaves that main base, you know Steven's coming back. Steven, he comes in. He's going to get a decent fight on those Marines. And on the top side, oh, the Marines are going to get overwhelmed by the looks of it. The Widow Mine's not quite able to do what they want to. Still has a Widow Mine available in the mineral line on the bottom side. Looks like he saved 6 of those Marines. There are still Zerglings in the main. Unburrowing! He kills the factory! There is another factory there. These Marines need to deal with it. Runamark is in pure chaos zone right now. Swarm hosts are unburrowing. They do take a Widow Mine shot to the face. Marines finally cleaning up the Zerglings, but the add-ons have been cleaned up. This mineral line and the production are both exposed. Runamark needs to leave some Marines there, but more Locusts! The dynamic duo just keep going. They each have 11 kills. Make it 12, make it 13. Dude, this is something Runamark cannot afford right now. 13 kills on one, 11 kills on the other. Those Swarm Hosts are slaying it. Meanwhile, he's coming forward with another Swarm Host squad on the north. Uh-oh! He's gonna get caught! Run, Steven! Run! He tries to burrow. He's like, at least I'll waste a scan. But Runamark definitely gonna scan and gun that one down, and that's gotta feel good. There's only 51 Zerglings, 5 Banelings over on Steven's side of the map. He does have a new mineral line up, 32 drones versus 24, but with double mule dropping, that's acceptable for Runamark. If he just plays calm and efficient and keeps on just harassing and denying bases, he could do really well, but another Ling run by is coming in. The dynamic duo is still ready in the south. They're recharged. Runamark, raise the wall! Raise the wall! Oh my god, he does, but only at the very last second. And he's not defending that third base. You can tell Runamark feels like he needs to go do something to kill his opponent. But I think at this point, all he needs to do is stop the flow of Zerg. These SCVs. Oh, he's doing a hold position maneuver. Cute micro from Runamark. Actually, very fancy maneuvers. On the other side of things, Steven's got a little bit of money coming in now. He's going to try and gather up. Uh-oh. Oh, those medevacs are very low. Look at this. Steven goes in with the queens first, gets one of the medevacs. If he can get that other medevac, that would be massive. And so many Marines not able to be picked up. Meanwhile, Zerglings have run in the third. They've burrowed there. They can unburrow at any moment, and they do it yet again. Burrow. Double pro. Okay, he's got Massling Bane run by, Ling Nidus, double-pronged Swarm Host harassment, including burrow to hide the Swarm Hosts. The layers of harassment. This is the most vicious never-ending, non-stop harassment I have ever seen. Has Runamuk made mistakes to let this happen? Yes, but I guarantee you guys, he's played a very good game. I'm sure there's some guy there who's like, wow, this Terran's really bad, huh? You're kidding me! He scanned again! And he missed it! That's such bad luck! What the hell? He's like, where are they coming from? Oh, the tale of just not being able to find the swarm hosts. Oh my god. These Marines are defending the Nidus pretty well. But Steven, he throws the kitchen sink at you. And I'm telling you guys, I've played games against Steven where I'm 1,000 MMR higher than him. And he just beats me 2-3 games in a row on the ladder with like dirty, crazy cheese. Because he just puts you in a place you haven't been before. And he gets you to make mistakes way more than you normally would. He's got to pick up and get out of there. Runamuk does save those. Well done. But the dynamic duo is still behind enemy lines. The Marines think they've set up a defense there. They have not. 13 kills and 15 kills. 28 kills between these two. They're going in again. And not just that, but Zerglings just keep popping out of these Nidus Worms. Lings are ready for a run by as well. The Locust coming in yet again. Runamuk is going to be absolutely molding at this one. He's like, where are they coming from? What in the hell is going on in this game? It's Steven on a scrappy economy. He's still only on 4 bases. He's making 3-3 upgrades. Runamuk's had enough. And you know what? I get it. For him at that point, I think he just wanted to click the rewind button and go, where are the swarm hosts coming from? And if he went back and watched that replay and saw the time when his scan clipped one of them and his Marines walked right past it, he didn't notice because he was busy looking elsewhere, he's going to be super triggered. Because I really do believe that the distraction of that, the chaos, and the constant mining lost on that base actually won that game. Runamuk was very close to killing him a few times with those Marine Widow Mine pushes. If he just had a few more medevacs, a few more Marines in there, it very well could have gone his way. But hats off to Steven. Swarm hosts versus Bio, legitimately insane. I haven't done this since Heart of the Swarm, and I remember at the time people told me I was an idiot. It wasn't a good style until I think I beat like a pretty good pro Terran in a tournament with it, and people got, well, like, and then they finally, oh. And then I remember Snoot started doing it, and obviously he was a much better player than me, and people started believing. Well, Steven just showed if you're sneaky enough with Burrow and your movement and you combine it with Ling Bane backstabs, it's very hard for the Terran. Technically, if you're playing Maru, I think he would have just cleaned up all the swarm hosts and kept map control because he's so fast. But if you're playing non-Maru Terrans, non-best Terrans in the world, I don't think they can really keep up with the layers. And does Steven play a perfect game? No, but he forces you into the chaos zone. And I feel like he just has an expert knowledge of how to play there. And his opponents always find themselves out of their depth, even if on paper they are the stronger player. I don't know what's going on in this part of the map. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you want to check out other Smooth Brain games from Steven and other players, click on one of the other games on screen. Don't forget to check out the Patreon down below in the description. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a lovely day. We'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.